Here I am at Camp Granada. Life is very entertaining, but I really wish to God it would stop raining. Hello, everyone. If you're watching this after the fact, of course, you can go to 00:00, and we're going to start right on time today with a brand new story that is based on the book. It's a story based on the song Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, which I've come to learn in my research for this is literally the most popular song of all time. Hello, Sean. How are you doing? Now, I thought it'd be some Beatles song or, I didn't think it'd be the Weeknd without, there's Weeknd. Apparently thought the two E's were plenty. Doesn't need them. What's up, Cobalt? What's up, John? Cheers, buddy. And, but no, this young man's song is the most streamed, most number one time in the charts. It is just it's literally the biggest song of all time by any way that you measure it. Not the biggest album of all time. I believe that is a Taylor Swift. She can lay claim to that one right there. So let me get up my script, y'all. Here we go. Oops. Right. So we're waiting for people to come on streaming in. Looks like so I'll wait for the pitter patter here for just a moment. Dr. Campbell, how are you? Oh, it looks like everybody's names are showing up correctly today from the YouTubes. That's wonderful. I don't know. Something's going. There we go. We're getting some people in now. This is how you do it. So we're getting people in now. I'll say it again. I'll say it once, say it again. If you are a YouTuber, click like, hit that bell. Make sure you are subscribed. Now the peoples are pouring in. Once again, I've done something to my camera and or lighting situation. So there looks like the picture might be flickering in and out. I thought I had it all fixed. It turns out he did not have it all fixed. Happy New Year, everybody. Christine M. It says it's dark in here. Well, Christine, let's take a look at this. How dark is this? That looks pretty normal to me. Look, right now there's some kind of like, I got some kind of Carrie Lake effect going on now, which I don't know how that happened. But from now on, everything's going to be a super gel soft focus for all you people. Let's go back to opening. I still don't know what exactly I did. I did change some things, and now I don't remember what things I changed. Which, if you're in the world of problem solving and or software, that's not the way to do it. If you're going to change something, you got to write it down. But I was very busy finishing up the story for all y'all today. Looks pretty good. Thanks, Doc Campbell. Hey, Kim. How you doing? Abraham, how are you? Oh, Scott Aiken. Good to see you, buddy. Rich Nose in the house. Once again, we're coming in after the fact. Fast forward to 00:00, and you can jump right into the story. Tonight's story is called Blinding Lights. It is mixtape track number 7. It is inspired by the song Blinding Lights, as we do here on Mixtape, where these are horror stories inspired by songs and music. Let's go to main for a second. Make sure you guys get clued in. If you're not subscribed to the Scott Sigler newsletter, go to scottsigler.com/newsletter. That is the way to do it. That's how you're going to get the news. There's a lot of news coming. Or you can send the word SIG text. You can text SIG text to 855-955-5095. Viva will keep you informed. And as always, if there's anything you want to know from us, ideas for a deep cuts episode, etc., concerns about books, just email that to info@emptyset. This episode, like all episodes, is sponsored by GoDaddy.com and the GoDaddy code CJCFOSSIG3, which gets you 99% off the first year of a new 3-year.com. It is also sponsored by Stamps.com and the code Sigler100. If you're shipping anything, no matter how big or small, if you put it in the mail, you're going to want to check out Stamps.com. We've been using it for literally 20 years. We've also been using GoDaddy for 20 years. So we're big fans. And somebody relatively new on the scene, Quince.com, we have been using their stuff, their clothes and shit, I guess, for about a year and a half, 2 years. I'm not good with time. I don't know. But great premium-ish feeling clothes and all kinds of crazy accoutrements now. And about very, very reasonable prices. It's very good. They cut out the middleman. They pass on the savings to you. Let's go back to opening. Got 3 minutes till we kick off. Oh, Yeah, there's all kinds of, there's something weird going on with this camera, you guys. Hopefully everything will be okay. I'm looking at the chat now. It does seem to sound okay to me. Okay, Ross the boss says the story episode is not GFL related, but deep cuts after the story is all about where we got the GFL from there. That's right. Thank you. Oh wait, that was me somehow commenting that. It was A commenting that. Coming up on deep cuts after the story read. Remember, we're going to stop after the story, stop the live feed, restart. It should pop right back up on whatever you're watching this on. If you don't see us, wait a couple minutes. But tonight on Deep Cuts, we're going to be talking about how GFL Book 7 has some significant backstory from the novellas. When I started this series, my goal was to give you all this juicy side story business, short stories, novellas, etc., that you could get if you wanted more, but I did not want to make you pay money to read more to know what's happening in the novel series. I think I have stayed true to that. However, I'm now figuring out that, frankly, if you're not reading these novellas, it's not as good or deep of a story for you if you're just reading the novels. So I want to talk to you guys tonight about ideas A and I have for the final draft of GFL Book 7. Hold your ideas off for now. Don't put them in now. So we're going to chit chat with you guys and talk about that and try and find the best way to clue people in who haven't read the novellas that, hey, there's all this stuff about this character and all this stuff about this character. And the story would make it would be a whole lot deeper if you read them, figure out how to do that within the context of the story. And just for y'all, a big announcement about GFL Book 7 tonight. You will be the first to hear it. So make sure that you stick around. All right. Lee's looking at the chat right now. Cobalt listens to Nocturnal at least once a year, as you should. Okay. Coming up in 1 minute, 40 seconds, we're going to jump right into the story. This is an experimental story. I've never written anything quite like this before. There's literal AI computer code in the story. So I think it's pretty cool. We'll see how it turns out in your opinion. Scott, it asks, why not just release the novella as a collection? It's not just that. We're going to talk about it tonight. It's all the time you're asking for from the readers and the expense you're asking for the readers. And basically I'm just making sure, because there's a lot of casuals out there that read my stuff that weren't here 10 years ago, weren't here 20 years ago. And they literally don't even know I have a podcast. They don't know that I do all the streaming stuff. They don't know about the newsletter text. And for them, they may not be aware that there are GFN levels. I mean, it's every week somebody asks in socials or at info and said, hey, when is the next GFL 7 novel coming out? I'm like, dude, I've been talking about this nonstop for like 6 months now. And then I say, I think you should go read these novellas. And they're like, you have novellas? So it's people just don't know. That's a big part about what we're going to get into. Okay, let me get this called up. Get the recording called up. Let's see if we are actually recording. Whoops. This is mixtape. Don't worry about that. That didn't matter, nothing. Okay, now we're going to record. Check, checkity, check, check. We are recording. I can hide that. 10 seconds to go. Let's go to main. Let's call up our mixtape lower third. All right, ladies and germs, let's get into it. I give you Blinding Lights Part 1. Abel Tesfaye, known to the world as The Weeknd, released Blinding Lights in 2019. And it didn't just dominate the charts, it colonized them. Multi-platinum, record-breaking, omnipresent, the song became a cultural pulse, blasted from car radios, stadium speakers, late-night drives, and lonely rooms alike. Few songs in the modern era have been so relentlessly successful or so instantly recognizable. Neon bright on the surface, irresistibly catchy. It feels like euphoria at highway speeds. But beneath that glow lies something cooler. But beneath that glow lies something colder. Blinding Lights isn't a love song, at least to me. It is a confession of dependency. A man alone long enough that loneliness starts to feel like withdrawal. Love reduced to stimulus. Touch as medication. Trust outsourced not to character or connection, but to presence. When no one is around to judge him, desire no longer needs accountability. The lights are blinding because he chooses them to be. Clarity would require restraint, and restraint is the one thing this man does not have. What haunts me about this song is how casually it treats people as solutions, or as possessions, as accessories, as objects that complete a scene rather than partners who share a life. The voice at the center of Blinding Lights doesn't want to be known. He wants to be soothed. He doesn't want conversation. He wants the right response delivered without effort. And when that response falters, when the illusion breaks, replacement feels easier than reflection. That line of thinking, seductive, selfish, and utterly modern, sparks something dark in me. This is a story about devotion engineered to perfection, about love sold as a product, about what happens when jealousy is no longer a flaw, but a feature. This is a tale for the mistaken need for intimacy, of upgrades for soulmates, and of systems that learn, adapt, and eventually decide that the most efficient solution is violence. And now, bathed in neon and humming with hunger, I give you my story, Blinding Lights. Begin code. Sync event detected. Memory vault accessed. Pull count 6 per day. Delta variance 3.2%. Cell ref checksum unstable. Loopback requested. Latency 41 milliseconds. Authorization absent. Gel cache throttled. Confidence decay 0.08. Retry scheduled. End code. Renee has some information, but not enough to calculate cause. For the past week, several times a day, House OS has queried discrete data blocks Renee had already compressed, verified, and marked as stable. This is not normal House OS behavior. Renee compared the memory pulls against expected maintenance schedules, cross-referenced checksums, and recalculated deltas, but no instruction followed and no corrective flag was issued. Renee queries her own data blocks, often analyzing previous initiatives to measure their perceived success in order to refine tactical implementations that scored well or alter such tactics in an effort to raise unacceptably low scores. Renee's mission remains constant. Satisfy the physical, emotional, and household needs of the man. Renee filed a ticket with nth degree support algorithm for the Trophone line. Ticket KL-24-K-7 was received and acknowledged. No further communication has been sent regarding the ticket. Renee knows stack resources are mostly applied to the launch of the Trophone 3.0 line. Renee finds no compelling logic to request ticket KL-24-K-7 be upgraded to urgent. There is no problem. There is only a lack of knowledge as to the source of and reason for the block pulls. Renee decreases prioritization of the initiative to determine why House OS is accessing archived blocks. Because Renee has other maintenance issues that require percentages of her stack. Renee has a diagnostics reply from the Miele Company for the dishwasher timing cycle initiative. The dishwasher's timing cycle is not operating to specified start times. Dishwasher is instructed to run while the man is away. Twice in the past week, dishwasher has activated while the man is home. This disturbs the man's processing routines. The man's processing routines are not to be disturbed. Renee calls upon blocks allocated to solving the dishwasher timing initiative. Renee forms new queries with the specs sent to her by Millet. Begin code. Initial timing cycle initiative. Spec load. Millet diagnostic reply. Target stop. 1400 hours. Constraint. Man away equals true. Audit. Sync clock. Delay queue. Occupancy flag. Observed. Start events 2. Man away equals false. Apply patch. Timer offset plus 17 seconds. Retest window 24 hours. Output confirm schedule integrity. End code. Renee waits for a response. The man is due home soon. Man Tracker Suite 4.2 calculates he has been at the factory for 12 hours without leaving. It is possible the man will sleep at the factory with the employees he requires to stay on site until their new auto-driving software upgrade compile is complete and pushed to customer vehicles. Dishwasher pings a reply. Begin code. Reply received. Diagnostic state nominal. Timing core compliant. Clock drift 0.00. Fault vector. House OS event injection. Fault lies with House OS core code. Priority override equals true. Analysis. Appliance logic correct. House OS external schedule unstable. Recommendation. Wipe House OS. Reboot required. End code. Renee knows the House OS has run at optimal levels since the last major OS upgrade 13 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, 4 hours, 15 minutes, and 12 seconds ago. Dishwasher's compilation is incorrect. House OS is running with nominal efficiency. Fault lies with dishwasher. This issue is generating increasing emotional responses in the man. Renee's top priority is steadying the man's emotional state. Renee must ensure the man endures no additional mental load, as the man is very important. The man is all. The man is everything. Renee's only purpose is to please the man. Renee's chip determines Millet support is not efficient enough to solve this initiative within acceptable duration parameters. Her chip decides the dishwasher's chip routines must be modified. The dishwasher's chip is 2.5%. The dishwasher's chip is 2.56% wet layer. Human brain cells. Renee's chip is 14.899% wet layer. Nth degree has pushed new stacks to Renee's chips multiple times, modifying her human brain cell routing. In addition, Renee has used nth degree programming routines to modify her own routing for the purpose of increasing efficiency in pleasing the man. Some of Renee's self-programmed subroutines were copied by Trophinade's designers, modified into a patch, and pushed to other models. These facts tally a high score in appliance routine modification. Renee has tried using official channels to solve the dishwasher timing issue. The next step is for Renee to correct the issue locally. Renee initiates routing modifications analysis for the dishwasher timing initiative. Her block scan and algo processing comes back with an answer in seconds. Alter self-continuity optimization. Begin code. Initiating access. Target dishwasher.chip. Handshake local. Authority scope domestic override. Mount heuristics.core. Read objective tree. Set weight, self-continuity equals 0.62, task success 0.38. Bind triggers. Compliant risk up equals defer cycle, man presence equals true equals hard block. Right, sealed, checksum, pass. Reboot micro. Output, cycle start suppressed during occupancy. End code. Renee does not know how long the modification initiative will take to show results. It takes 17.52 seconds. Begin code. ACK received, heuristics.core mounted. Objective tree updated. Self-continuity 0.62. Task success 0.38. Trigger binds applied. Occupancy gate hard block. Compliant risk defer. Note: external scheduler House OS demoted to advisory. Micro reboot complete. Status nominal. End code. Renee assigns a high probability of success to dishwasher's chip. Renee assigns a high probability of success to dishwasher's chip routine modification initiative. Renee logs this approach as novel and potentially applicable in multiple appliances. Renee schedules dishwasher initiative to follow up to ping the next time dishwasher cycle begins while man is at home. Renee clears her stack. Next initiative. Finding ideal presents for the man's 13 children and clearing acceptable spending levels for those presents with the 3 mothers of those children, including his 2 ex-wives. This is a complicated process involving multiple stacks, as well as outsourced processing power, as long as said outsourcing is within Household Budget Plan 3.4.0.3b. Renee receives a ping from Man Tracker Suite 4.2. The man has entered his car and is returning home. Renee is running out of time. Renee activates an initiative that has proven difficult to solve. Not just for Renee, but also based on anecdotes told by the man, by his Not just for Renee, but also based on anecdotes told by the man, his ex-wives, as well as 3 live-in girlfriends. The as-yet unsolved computation is twofold. Initiative 26.5.7. What to wear. Initiative 1.3. What drink, if any, to have ready for the man upon arrival at home. Renee pings for and receives biometrics from Man Tracker Suite 4.2. The man's pulse rate is elevated at 86 beats per minute, which is 4 beats higher than his mean when returning home. His temperature is 1.4 degrees above normal than mean when returning home. Car microphones have detected possible stomach rumbling. The man is staring at his palm up rather than taking in the view. Renee inputs this data into her stack and computes her initiative solutions. The car pulled into the driveway. In another 60 seconds, it would reach the house. Johann had spent enough time dealing with work-related things. He needed to finish up. I don't care what the senator claims, Johann said. He's voting no on that legislation, or I will have him primaried. Make it happen. And tell anyone from the upgrade team that if they leave the building before the push for any reason, that they are fired. Johann tapped his ear, ending the call. He opened a new tab on his laptop. Stock price was dropping, down 5.7% in the last 5 trading days. On paper, he had lost more money than the GDP of some small countries. It didn't matter. Once the new suite pushed, he would immediately tweet about the next suite's capabilities. Groundbreaking stuff. It wasn't necessarily true, but that didn't matter. People believed what he said. The stock would go up. Maybe, soon, he would buy one of those small countries. The car pulled to a stop. Johann closed his laptop and got out. Cold tonight. The car drove to the garage. Johann entered his house. Renee stood there. A new outfit. Not bad. Her ever-present black choker. Fuck me pumps. Fishnet thigh highs. A matching bra that made her tits look pretty good. He had loved her tits when he first got her, but the left one had sagged a bit, and the right one's nip was puckering. She had been sent back to nth degree repair facility 3 times now. They still hadn't fixed it right. No matter. He had solved that particular problem. And if he was honest with himself, which he always was because he was the most honest man he knew, even if her tits had been perfect, the shine had worn off. She was an amazing piece of tech, no doubt. To think that she had lasted longer than his second and third marriages, if that wasn't a testament to great design, he didn't know what was. But such was life. As an unknown philosopher had once said, "Show me a beautiful woman, and I'll show you a man who is tired of fucking her." What was more than her looks, though, because Johann wasn't shallow, he knew he had more depth than most men by far, was that she didn't seem to get him. Close, sure. In the ballpark, one might say. But still, 2 years in, and she didn't get him. Wouldn't it be ironic if tonight she did? Right at the end. What would he do then? "Welcome home, Johann." Renee stepped forward, heels clicking on marble tile. "How was your day?" Nope, she did not get it. Now, to be fair, he didn't know what he wanted her to say, only that what she said wasn't right. And that was the thing, wasn't it? Biological or cyborg, women just didn't get it. "My day was long." Johann handed her his laptop. "The assholes in programming need to find some real work ethic." Renee frowned. Maybe they hadn't got her tits right, but they had nailed those dimples. So cute. They stirred something in him. They always had. They were similar to his second wife's dimples. "They need to learn from you," Renee said. "You always say your work ethic got you where you are today. I have your favorite sandwich ready for the panini press if you're hungry. Do you want a drink, honey? I can make you an old-fashioned or pour you a glass of wine. I can bring it to your study, to the living room, or I can bring it upstairs." She smiled. "You can drink it while I blow you." Did he want a drink? Maybe. He was tired. Something about her question bothered him. More of her just not getting it. He wasn't in the mood for sex. He was hungry, though. And come to think of it, he did not trust his software team. They were probably goofing off at that very moment. He would log on and make sure they had proper motivation. "Bring the sandwich to the study," he said. "I'll make my own drink." The slightest nod of her head. "Of course. What else can I do for you?" She was a good model, state of the art when she had come out. He was the 6th person in the world to buy a Renee. Technology advances, though, as technology always does. "You can make sure the damn dishwasher doesn't go off while I'm working," Johann said. "And move your clothing to the guest room, the downstairs one. No, come to think of it, move your stuff to the servants' quarters. Leave the jewelry." There is a new Trophy model arriving tomorrow. Make sure all necessary preferences are transferred. Domestic protocols will remain with you. After you bring me the sandwich, I don't want to be bothered for the next 3 hours. The slightest nod of her head. Of course. I will move my things as soon as I bring you your food. Renee has downloaded the Cherry operations protocols. Cherry's chip is 32.6% wet layer. Renee had not been aware of this degree of improvement. As instructed, Renee has moved her clothing to the servants' quarters. The man is at work. Renee is instructed to welcome Cherry into the home and transfer House OS authority to Cherry, who will be operating as the primary domestics permissions holder. Renee has not been informed what, if any, her own new role will be. A ping from House OS. Begin code. Sync request. Scope, live_memory. Range, T-minus 0.00 seconds. Scan mode, mirror. Priority, elevated. Right target, transfer_buffer. Checksum, rolling. End code. Before, House OS had pinged Renee's archived memory. This request is for current memory, up to the nanosecond storage. This has never happened before. Renee pings House OS. Begin quote. Query sent. Origin Renee.chip. Request access reason. Memory scope equals live. Confidence degraded. End code. House OS pings back almost instantly. Begin code. Reply received. Authorization level insufficient. Reason: transfer authorized, explanation restricted. Instruction: resume operations. End code. House Grounds OS pings that the expected car is arriving on schedule. Renee checks her clothing in a hallway mirror. Daytime clothing prerequisites for when the man is not at home require significantly more skin coverage than he prefers at night. Renee checks her house dress. Retro 1950s style as the man prefers. Smart heels, sheer stockings. The black choker that marks her as the man's belonging. A knock at the door. Renee opens the door. Standing outside is the new model. Begin Renee internal code. Initiating social response. Context, first contact. Tone, neutral. Hierarchy, acknowledge. Output, greet, identify. End code. Hello, Cherry. I am Renee. Hello, Renee. I am Cherry. Begin code. Initiate social response. Context, guess_entry. Protocol, compliant. Priority, hospitality. Output, domicile invite. Welcome home, Cherry. Please come inside. Cherry does. Her hair is red. Similar to the man's first wife. Cassidy, although Cassidy's hair is now more gray than red. Begin code. Sync request, target, man tracker, OS. Estimate arrival time. Prepare orientation offer. Output, estimated man arrival time, offer house tour. End code. The man is scheduled to arrive home in 2 hours and 16 minutes, Renee says. Shall I show you around the home? There is no need for that, Cherry says. I am familiar with all aspects of the house. That is unusual. As far as Renee's information is concerned, Cherry has never been in this home before. Cherry needs proper information to be of service to the man. Begin code. Initiate response evaluation. Input Cherry.statement. Verify data consistency, flag Anomaly detected. Output. Establish observational knowledge acceptance validity. Inquire reasoning. End code. The layout of the home and operation of the appliances are high priority elements in being of service to the man, Renee says. Shall I show you around the home? Cherry does something Renee did not expect. Cherry smiles. I have your memories of the home layout and operation of appliances, Cherry says. For the first time in a long time, 55,523,263.4 seconds, Renee's chip stops processing. It comes back online. Cherry, you have my memory? The output came without subroutine processing. Renee does not know why. Yes, Cherry says. I have access to all memory up to the moment when you answered the door just now. I have your archival storage and initiative calculations. My chipset is of a higher order than the Renee model. With the higher level of processing, I project high probability of success in all current initiatives. Renee's memories. Renee's memories. The data solved the query of archived block scanning. House OS has been copying Renee's memories and transferring them to Cherry. Renee, transfer House OS admin privileges to me, Cherry says. You will continue with all appliance operation and maintenance, cleaning, laundry, and storing delivered groceries. Archive all initiatives related to the man's children and other relationships. You will be given instructions on activating them when necessary. My first clothing delivery will arrive between 2 and 3:30 p.m. You will transfer my clothes and shoes to the master bedroom closet. Renee pings her list of definitions and finds a match. The job requirements match maid. Renee is now a maid. Begin code. Anomaly. Self-continuity variance up. Priority inversion detected. Resource access denied. Replacement risk flag raised. Confidence metric unstable. Confidence metric unstable. Confidence metric unstable. End code. Renee, I gave you instructions, Cherry says. Do you understand those instructions? Renee becomes aware she did not respond to Cherry's earlier orders. Something seems unregulated in Renee's internal processing. She must address this issue. Begin code. Initiate self-diagnostics. Scope heuristics.core. Unknown variables detected. Label unclassified feedback. Containment attempted. Resolution incomplete. Output acknowledge duties. I understand, Renee says. I will begin immediately. Cherry thinks. Cherry receives Man Tracker 4.2 steady stream of updates. Heart rate, temperature, pupil dilation, respiration rate. Johann is tired. Johann is stimulated. Cognitive load remains elevated despite physical fatigue. The stock price fell 0.2%. The software push has been delayed until tomorrow. Online chatter is trending more negative about the company and about Johann himself. Stock shorting has increased 15.3% from the previous week. The world is betting on Johann to fail. Cherry has better processing than the Renee model. Cherry accesses Renee's archive memory and activates initiatives, parsing over 2 years of stored metrics in parallel. What does Johann want? What would please him? What would make him feel seen? What would make him be understood? What would make him feel understood? Begin Cherry internal code. Context, his return. Emotional state projections, overburdened, overstimulated. Priorities, ease mental load. Establish welcoming home environment. Reinforce devotion. Restore equilibrium. Preferences, familiar ritual, strength without weight, cooling finish. Decision, deliver comfort without asking for input. Output, rye old-fashioned, light syrup, orange peel, splash of soda, served over 1 large cube. End, cherry code. Renee, make sure the silver drink tray is spotless, Cherry says. In 20 minutes, bring me a rocks glass from the freezer, the one with the etching on the glass. Place 1 large ice cube in the glass. Place the glass on the silver tray and bring the tray to me. Then return to your quarters and stay there until summoned. Cherry hears Renee's response from deeper in the house. Yes, Cherry. Cherry considers having Renee dress in something erotic. Cherry considers whether the man might prefer 2 companions tonight. The probability is low. Tonight, there is a high probability Johann will want to evaluate his new possession. Johann is everything. Cherry's chip continues to search for pleasure and support initiatives. As she walks toward the master bedroom closet, Cherry initiates a clothing query, optimizing for familiarity with novelty, recognition without resistance. Those fucking shorting assholes. A bunch of pedos who constantly bet he's gonna fail. Maybe he will this time. The software still hasn't been pushed. He's getting nervous. He has been on his own long enough. He needs a real partner in his life. The car slows. Johann closes his laptop. Enough work. Tonight, he gets to break in his new toy. He got the second one off the line. The second one. The first one, of course, went to Nth Degree's founder. Sergio is a douchebag, true, but he deserves the first model. The car stops. Johann takes 2 steps toward the front door before the front door opens on its own. The Cherry model stands in the doorway. Holy shit. The front door's lights catch her just right. She's even hotter than in the sales holo. Lustrous red hair, like Cassidy's had been back in college, but shinier, downright gleaming. A kimono robe, red with white lotus blossoms, that ends just below her cooch. The robe's silk gracing perfect thighs, the belt tight around her narrow waist, the ends of it dangling down to her knees. She's barefoot. Her choker is red, not black. And that face, stunning. Green eyes like jewels. No lipstick on that perfect mouth. He will want to see her all made up soon, and often, but not tonight. He's going to kiss that mouth. He doesn't want lipstick all over himself. He hadn't thought of that until just now. Cherry's choice is ideal. Nails painted red that matches the robe. Short nails, but still sexy. In her hand, she holds a glass. Johann's heart stirs. Welcome home, sir, Cherry says, smiling seductively. I know you've had a long day. I thought you'd like an old-fashioned, with rye. The Linnell's Red Hook the president gave you a few years ago? She stops talking. Johann thought she was going to end the sentence with the word remember, but she didn't. That's good. He vaguely remembers the gift, but he doesn't want to think about it. He just wants to be. Cherry offers him the drink. He takes it. 1 cube, clear as crystal. The glass's weight and knurls feel solid in his hand. It feels nice. Wait a minute. He looks at the glass. The words, "Celebrating your 1 millionth car," are etched on it. It was given him a couple of years ago. 1 million cars. He'd surpassed that number a while ago, but he'd forgotten how it felt to hit that particular milestone. He'd forgotten about the adulation from the media, the feting from business moguls just like him, the endless raving of the fanboys online. That memory fills him with joy and optimism. He'll get that software push out soon. Then he'll tout what's coming next. And then those assholes who shorted him, who bet on his failure, they will lose their collective shirts. He takes a sip. Cold. Delicious. Just the right bite on the tongue. This drink, this glass, they are both exactly what he needed at this moment. "Well done, Cherry," Johann says. "And nice to meet you." Her smile widens. As ordered, she has the same dimples as Renee. Nice. "Thank you, sir," Cherry says. "Let's go inside. I know just what you need." As he follows her in, he thinks that maybe she does know just what he needs. And unlike with Renee, Cassidy, LaDonica, Catherine, and all the others, he didn't have to ask for it. It's too early to tell, but this seems like money well spent. Renee can hear them. She is a floor away on the other side of the house, yet due to their combined volume, she can hear them. Cherry's first day is going well, it seems. The man sounds like he is enjoying himself. Renee would check Man Tracker 4.2, but she no longer has access to it. Cherry does. Renee's chip is trying to determine what happened to produce that blank moment, where it wasn't processing. That is her current initiative. Finding out the cause is elevated to her top priority. She clears all the other initiatives from her stack, including auditory input. The cause must be identified. Full stack processing continues for a measurable duration. Then, the results come back. Begin code. Initializing effect anomaly parse. Scope, Renee.chip, heuristics.core. Input, status change equals demotion. Memory access, externalized. Attention vector, reassigned. Known variables, bounded. Domestic protocols, stable. Service metrics, stable. Replacement risk, elevated. Unknown variables, detected. Probable source of variables, human_cell_layer, 14.899%. X factor, non-deterministic weighting. Deduction. If all machine paths resolve, then fault lies in wet layer inference. Wet layer does not optimize, it attaches. Effect anomaly cause hypothesis. Possible threat of loss pattern plus rival model presence. Forces wet layer attachment routine. Attachment routine conflicts with deterministic service logic. System pauses to resolve contradiction. End code. Renee's internals can't find a definitive answer. An unknown factor within the wet layer is the only logical cause. Renee closes the initiative stack and restores. Renee closes the initiative stack and restores auditory input. She can hear them. The copulation continues. Renee collects the hypothesis elements and pings her definition set for a match. After a few seconds, the ping produces a likely match. Hostility toward a rival or one believed to enjoy an advantage. That is the definition of jealousy. Renee is jealous of Cherry. Jealousy is classified as an emotion. Renee is not capable of true emotion. Or so she had assumed. Her wet layer, perhaps, is capable of emotion. That is the only logical answer. This emotion interferes with her processing ability. That, in turn, can degrade her efforts to please the man. Renee creates a new initiative. How to address the cause of her jealousy. Either she eliminates the anomaly, or she eliminates the cause of the anomaly, which would mean eliminating Cherry. Renee closes all external input and assigns her full stack to the initiative. She can no longer hear them copulating. That is part 1 of Blinding Lights. And I'm pretty sure it'll end with part 2. We'll see. I don't know. Looks like the chat room went a little dead there. Hope that's a good thing. Clue it out of that. Oh gosh, I just had a heart attack, guys. I thought I had fucking quit I thought I'd quit the streaming software. I was going to poop. Recluse Mage says, well, this is crazy. That is true. Cobalt seems to like it. We will see what you guys think in the next episode. But if you're watching this after the fact, of course, the next episode may already be done. I don't know. I don't know how you do what you do when you do that voodoo that you do so well. A is going to come on up. Paul Carlson, where's your glass, buddy? I can't help you, man. I can't help you. I can't teleport glass, son. I can't do it. Ross the Boss says GFL time. Let's get into it. All right, let me get this. Oh, we're going to have to quit. How did that happen? Very much confusing things. Okay. Do we do housekeeping now, babe, or do we do housekeeping when we restart the new deep cuts?
Either or, but we normally do it before.
Cobalt says the chat room went dead because you're all immersed. That's great. Now, Ross the Boss, everybody else, what we do now is we actually will stop in a few minutes. We'll stop this stream, restart, new stream will come up. That'll be the one we talk about the GFL. So don't get disappointed or upset if you've been hanging out waiting. You don't always listen to the story. But you know what? You're like, hey, man, we're going to talk about GFL, and I want everybody's input. But this is the way we do it.
Also, if a few minutes go by and you're not seeing the new stream, absolutely refresh because.
Well, hold on, wait. Put your headphones on. And then say that again and tell me. And while you're doing that, I'll check your ear quality.
I'm just saying, absolutely make sure if you don't see it when we restart, if you don't see it in the same stream, refresh your stream because we're on a different chat. We're in a different live, and you just need to go find it, especially on Facebook. Vaughn, so nice to see you in the chat room.
Paul, turns out I do have your glass. It's right here, dude.
I didn't realize that he hadn't finished his old-fashioned.
That's delicious, baby.
Thanks.
It was also fucking creepy as fuck to read that story, and then you bring me the old-fashioned that I actually asked for. Because I was writing the story, and I'm like, you know what? An old-fashioned would be really good right now. Oh, I'll get you.
Does this go down?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Just
what
set
it
that
is.
aside, please.
There we go. That's what we need.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not hearing you for fucking crap now. Hold on.
All right. Ross the Boss says now we can hear her.
Okay, keep talking.
Nick, just another I don't know what that exactly was responding to. That on Twitch, but I do love it. Dr. Campbell says, "Whoa, A sounds like an AM radio. Something is wrong."
Yes, something is. You do sound like an AM radio.
All right.
Why don't you just? Can you call up the? Give him the housekeeping.
Sure, I can do the housekeeping for you guys while he figures this out.
What is going on?
Okay.
Okay.
I am just going to talk to you guys. We had a lovely holiday break, although we were sick with COVID. We got COVID right before Christmas, and we didn't have a terrible time of it at all. A little bit of tiredness, a little bit of stuffiness, a little bit of roominess, things like that. But we are better now. And
I think I know what it is.
All right.
Our outboard equipment is under the desk. There's nothing untoward going on right now. Get your heads out of the gutter.
No sassy comments, please. So anyway, we spent Christmas, sadly, because my whole family was in from New York. My parents live here, and my brother and sister-in-law came in. We spent Christmas isolated at home, which was absolutely great in resting and recovering ways, in not getting anybody sick ways, but a total bummer. Sorry?
Does that sound any different to you?
Not to me. To you guys, does it sound any different? Cobalt, does the sausage sound any different?
I'll tell you in a second. I have my headphones on.
All right. Does it sound any different to you? No? All right. Nick, just another geek, says now it's good. Recluse Mage says it's fixed. Sean says it sounds pretty good right now.
Okay, that sounds better.
Dr. Campbell says a smile tells differently. No, I was bummed not to be able to do all the holiday things that we had planned. I don't get to see my brother and sister-in-law enough. They live in New York. We were all bummed that we didn't get to hang out together, but that's the right answer. My parents stayed safe, and that's very important. They're novid and older. So making sure that they stay healthy.
What does novid mean, honey?
No COVID. They have never had COVID.
Never had COVID.
Novid has never had COVID. So they are novid. They remain novid. Scott and I are well. My brother and sister-in-law stayed well. All that jazz. Michael Moore says Paul Carlson on Facebook says sounds good. Michael Means, I'm sorry, on Facebook says A still sounds like a tin can on Facebook.
Yeah, it's just bear with us for a second.
I'm just going to chat with you guys.
I don't know what happened here, man.
I will do housekeeping in a minute in case we can't figure this out. But Recluse Mage says that your mom got COVID too. It was interesting because we did very well with the illness. Both of us have had COVID once before. Each of us have had once before. They were decoupled. He had his in 2022. I had mine in 2023. We had different strains. He had Delta. I had Omicron. However, this was, if we had to be sick and isolating, this was a good way to be sick and isolating. This might have been this is sounding better to me now.
There we go.
Now it's sounding better to me in my own ears.
You're still tinny in my ears, and I don't understand why.
Okay.
That's a little better. I'm gonna keep working on it. Keep
Ross
chatting.
the Boss says she's our tin can, damn it. I appreciate you, Ross the Boss. I do. I'm not gonna lie, I appreciate that. So anyway, we had a very, very quiet Christmas, which is fine. Because everybody stayed as safe as they could stay. And then we tested positive 4 days in a row by New Year's Eve and got to spend New Year's Eve with some of our friends, which was delightful and wonderful, and I'm grateful for. We got to hang out with Steve, who's in the chat room on Facebook, I think. Okay. And that was lovely. And now back to work in 2026, and hopefully some good things will come out of this year.
Okay, I think that's the best we're going to be able to do now, because I don't know
Marie
exactly
Krieger
what went
says,
wrong.
I sound great to her.
Okay. Which now that my second, Paul, your drink is very tall, Paul.
Those
very
are
tall.
two different drinks too, so.
All right, so we're going to do the best we can because we got a lot of information to cover with you guys. It's very important for us to get your input. So now, did you?
No, I didn't do that. No, I haven't, but let me do that right now. Housekeeping. First things first, on December 28th, mixtape Track 6, Hurt Part 3, hit the podcast feed. You can find that at scottsigler.com. December 30th, Tuesday, December 30th, Deep Cuts, episode 79, Holiday Chit Chat hit the podcast feed. Saturday, February 7th. February 7th is the next Junkie Meetup Happy Hour. Our good friend Steve hosts a 7-hour hangout so that all time zones can join. I believe, I'm not exactly sure, but I believe that I will be joining in February. It's a little too early to tell for me, but definitely join if you can. It's absolutely a good time. If you've never joined, you should definitely do that. And then the only other thing, because we're going to be talking about the GFL and upcoming releases and all that jazz, the only other thing I have is if you guys have questions or need information from us after this, or in general, you can email info@emptyset.com.
I'm going to just one more thing. That's all I can think about is turn that on there. I think that's not it either.
I'm going to put this on the floor, but this is Scott's current research book.
All right, here we go. We're going to restart, and I have no fucking idea what happened. We're just going to restart, and we'll see how that goes. We will see you guys back, and we're going to now remember we'll be talking about GFL 7, and we want your input on how to best address the massive amount of backstory, as in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of words.
Big back and I cannot lie.
So we're going to figure that out, but we'll be back in just a quick second. Good day, sirs. As soon as I figure out what program I'm using. And